Last week I began a top secret mission that unfortunately I can't tell you about just yet. It involves some fantastic golf courses, quite a lot of travel, and hopefully me playing better golf. The issue with that is, last week I did not have my good golf. In fact, I had some of the worst golf that I've been playing in quite some time. It affected my driver, it affected my irons. It started off the week like this. Oh dear, it's social. That's even left of yours. Oh dear. Oh dear. And that's out to the right. Sit. That might be a seed down, Chris. And then luckily I had a little bit of an epiphany, changed a few things in my game, and we ended up with this. Oh, best drive of the trip. It's a great shot. It's a good shot. That's a cracking shot as well. Who is this man? So you see guys, in today's video I'm going to talk you through exactly what I changed in my game, both with my irons and with my driver, and see if it can help you if you ever struggle with your game, missing greens, missing fairways, hitting terrible tee shots like this one. A bit of a double cross, one would say. And just generally ruining your golf trip. So we're going to kick things off with irons, and I struck my irons not too bad. I generally don't mind ball striking too much with irons. I can generally make sure that I do get a nice ball then turf contact. I can make sure that I get my weight forward, that I turn in, and that I get a little bit of forward shaft lean. For me, that's how I know I'm going to compress my irons. That's how I know how far the irons are going to go, because dynamically I want to make sure I'm returning the same loft every single time. So you see here I've got a 7 iron. I want to make sure that I'm returning that 7 iron the same to the ball every time. Should I be wanting to play a normal golf shot, not a high one, not a low one, just a nice mid-fly to the 165 yard 7 iron. The problem is when that doesn't happen, generally the club face tends to then turn over too much. I start to pull the ball, I start to hook the ball, everything that goes left can go left, and the old shout comes back. Forward! Like that one. But you see, rather than go to the range and just beat balls on the trip, I thought, right, how can I be productive here? How can I make sure that I am going to be better tomorrow? Because we played some outstanding golf courses, and guys, I can't wait for you to see exactly where we got to play and where we are going to play. The series is coming not very soon, but soon, so subscribe if you want to see it. But the big thing is making sure that I take this club away properly. I don't get trapped inside. I make sure my weight stays on the left side just a little bit longer. And from there I can hit lovely high floaty 7 irons like that. The big thing that I really like about that, if we get down into the dirt, so to speak, is you'll see that's where my ball was on that tee. I've got a lovely divot just after the ball. It's not a massive, huge divot. It's not too steep. It's nice and shallow. But that divot's actually going ever so slightly left of my target. That's not because I'm trying to cut across that ball. That's because with an iron, the club generally works around the body. Because you're hitting down on that ball, the club has to exit ever so slightly to the left. The club works a little bit outside the hands move around the body. As long as your weight's moving to your forward side and your hips are turning, that's when you can get that forward shaft lean, that's when you can control the club face, and that's when you hit better shots like I have done there. Now, if I don't do that, I generally tend to stall a little bit. I actually move away too much in the backswing, so I've kind of swayed off that nice position in the middle, and then to get back in position, I slide back. So instead of keeping that sternum nice and central, moving around my body, making sure I'm loaded onto that right side, then turning down into the ball, making sure I've got a nice forward shaft lean. The wrists aren't bowing too much, they're certainly not cupping like if you were to hang back, and that's how you can generally start to play these shots. So if I move that ball back in the stance a little bit now, I can play that same shot just a little bit lower. You'll see again that's cutting in the air nicely. Again, there's a nice divot after the ball, and again I know what ball flight I'm going to get. As soon as you start to do these things and tick these boxes in your head, that's when you can really start to improve your golf. And I'm going to hit you another one because I really feel like I'm on a roll here. Guys, if this is helping you with your game, then throw a like on this video. I really hope that it is. Often when I do these videos, I start playing better because I'm explaining it to you. So if you can explain your game to someone else, that might help you play better golf. Right, that's the irons. One of the big problems really was the driver. Let's get talking about driver. They were so much better, by the way. So much better. Okay, so hitting driver like I was doing at the start of last week was very difficult to swallow because, as you all know, I have been tinkering a little bit with my driver this year anyway. I started off with the Paradigm Triple Diamond, then moved into the Ping G430 LS Tech. But for this trip, I really wanted the Callaway in the bag. I thought, you know what, if I can just swing like I know I can swing, I know this is the best driver for me. I know this is the longest driver for me, and I know this gives me the most satisfaction when I have good golf swings. The problem was, yeah, as you can see there, far from my greatest stuff. And the issue was I was losing a lot of golf balls. I was hitting a lot of golf balls left, and I didn't really know how to stop that. Looking in my head back, I do know how to stop that, and this is what this video is about. But then I started trying to manipulate the club with my hands, and then I started losing it to the right and then the left. And then I got to the point where I literally did not know where the golf ball was going. And if you've ever been in that situation, it's not the nicest of places to be, especially when you're on a golf trip, which should potentially be the trip of a lifetime. And I can't wait to show you the content that's coming from it. We played 5 rounds of golf last week, 5 full rounds in 5 days. No, 6 in 5 days. And the big problem was I fought at setup, so I started setting up a little bit closer to the ball, which helps because for me it allows me to get the club a little bit more upright on the way back. I fanned my left foot out just a touch because that helps me clear my hips just a little bit earlier on the way down. And that started to give me a little bit more confidence to go at the ball again and actually try and hit shots like that. When I hit a good drive, my foot moves back a little bit. That's because having a back injury in the past and having a little bit too much weight on me at the moment, having to rotate quick isn't that easy. So if I move back a bit, that generally allows me to square that club face up. It's under control. I don't feel like I have to worry about kind of squaring the club face up too much. But the big problem was that when I was starting and setting up, I'd get to the top, I'd stall with the lower body here, the upper body would keep coming, and that would just shut the club face down. There'd be no dynamic loft impact, there'd be no real face angle towards the target, and the path could have been anywhere, which was a huge problem. Now I know that if I just stand that little bit closer, and it's a really good thing to do, guys. If you are on a trip, if you can work out exactly what the problem is, then generally you're going to be a little bit more confident because you know your own game enough what you need to change. I never think it's a nice place to be, having to change something mid-season, mid-trip, mid-competition, mid-whatever. You just want to be playing your own game. But if you're confident enough to know exactly what you do wrong, then at least if it does go wrong, or when it goes wrong, because this is golf, you can start to hit better shots like that. That was a little bit toey, it turned over a little bit more than what I wanted, but it's still in play. It's still not robbing me of any enjoyment, of any scores, or of any golf balls either. Guys, wait till you see the courses we played last week, honestly. You might recognise some from the shots that I've showed you. But generally, guys, make sure you keep turning your body, make sure your posture doesn't slacken off and you start to lose height, because at 5'8" and a bit, you can't afford to do that anyway. And make sure you play good golf. That is so much better. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. If it helps you, fantastic. Get in the comments below and let me know. But apart from that, I'll see you all exactly the same time tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see exactly what we've been up to. Goodbye.